You shouldn't normally write your name because it's illegal.
No. Shit. What is up, mis parceros? Welcome back to another adventure. And oh, by the way, parceros just means friends in Colombian Spanish. Today, we find ourselves in a city that needs no introduction, a city that's amassed worldwide fame over the years, nicknamed the City of Eternal Spring, a place where the lush green rolling hills surround the sprawling urban city beneath. Today, my friends, we find ourselves in none other than the city of Medellin, Colombia. And today, we're gonna explore one of Medellin's most famous places, Comuna 13, which is right here behind me. Honestly, I'm so excited. The air is crisp, the weather's nice, it's a beautiful day. It's gonna be una aventura bacana. And on that note, I'm pumped. Let's dive in. All right, so in Medellin, there's 16 comunas. And what is a comuna? So basically, that's just a bunch of neighborhoods. And decades ago, this place was considered one of the most dangerous neighborhoods, not only in Colombia, but in the world. And why was that? I mean, there was just problems with narco or drug trafficking, with guerrilla groups, with paramilitary, with gangs. But in recent years, this place has undergone a complete 180. And now it's become one of the most visited tourist destinations in all of Colombia. And this place is really famous for all of the murals. All right, that's enough pretext. What do you guys say we dive on in and we explore Comuna 13? Some initial observations. Look at the layout of the place. I mean, the way in which the houses are built one on top of the other. I mean, this almost looks kind of like favela style, although it's not a favela. I don't know if you guys can see this way out in the distance over there. How, I mean, they just built all into the hills, and how expansive and how dense this place really is. This basketball court right here where all these people are playing soccer was actually a place where they executed people way back when. It's crazy just to see the transformation from a place where people once unfortunately lost their lives to now being a place where people gather to go play recreational sports. All right, now we are in the heart of the tourist area, and if you guys notice, I mean, things are closed. We got here pretty early today. And look at this. Kami said this oversized, which just means oversized t-shirts. You have advertisements for restaurants. You have advertisements for attractions. And check this out over here. We have the English translations. It's really a sign of how touristy this place has become over the years. Over to this side, you have some gift shops, things like that. But the really cool thing about this place are these stairs right here. These stairs weren't always here. So one of the coolest things is that they were built in 2012 and they were placed around 350 stone stairs. And that was really just more meant to help people be able to go up and down these hills. Because before, I mean, imagine going up and down stone steps. I mean, especially if you're older, that's going to be really difficult. And as you can see, it's pretty steep. It cost around $3 million at the time to build. There's 6 in total of these electronic escalators. And one of the most interesting things is they stretch a really long ways, about the size of the Eiffel Tower. Okay, so now we're at one of the most popular areas of Comuna 13. This mural right behind us is the most important in all of the Comuna. And I could try to explain the story to you guys, but I feel like, honestly, I'm gonna butcher it. So I have our guide over here, Sergio, who's actually from Comuna 13, and he's gonna tell us the story. So I'll let him take it away from here.
Right now, we are in the most popular and maybe the most important murals in Comuna 13. As you can see, it's like a hand that is gambling, you see? And one dies, it says C13. In the other one, there is a date, 16th of October 2002. That's a really important date for the community. That's the date where this big military operation took place called Orion. As you can see, like it's wearing a camouflage. Underneath, there is a blue shirt. Normally, soldiers, don't mix these type of clothes. This represents the army, this represents the government. And in general, this represents the government and the army playing with people's lives in Comuna 13. Look at this. This mural over here represents like an African Colombian community. There's a big African Colombian community in Comuna 13. And also I want you to notice that this woman has no expression on her face. It's basically because Orion is happening in front of her, like this military operation.
And what exactly was Operation Orion?
Orion, this military operation started at night. In the 16th of October, the government deployed 1,500 soldiers in Comuna 13. And their main objective was just to find the guerrillas and kicked them out. You know, they needed to get rid of that problem. It lasted like 7 days total. Yeah, it was a huge military operation in here. Like the government used a lot of force. You know, they brought a couple of helicopters that were like Black Hawks. These hummingbirds represent those Black Hawks.
Oh, wow. Actually, you guys can see the opening right here. And then the feet right here, they're part of the helicopter.
These beetles represent the tanks. There were a couple of tanks in the military operation. And they were small tanks, but still tanks.
Oh my gosh. The symbolism is incredible. What exactly is this area?
Well, a lot of people come here to practice like how to graffiti. This is basically like the base. What your tag is like your nickname.
And we got the goods right here. How does this all work?
Well, we have two types of like spray cans. This is industrial spray paint. And this is professional spray paint. Like you always have to shake this. There are always 4 things you have to take into account when you're doing this. First of all, like the distance between the surface and the spray can. Second is how hard you press this. Third is the speed. Look at this.
It starts to kind of pool up over there and starts to kind of drip and whatnot.
So yeah, it's too slow versus this. The last thing is tend to move only your arm. Like don't move your wrist, because when you move your wrist, you change the angle of this. So with that in mind, again, you can try.
Okay, let's try in a new area. All right, step 1, we're close. Step 2, we're gonna move the arm. And 3 and 4 I already forgot, but that's okay. Close enough. We tried. I don't think I'm gonna ever have a career as a graffiti artist, but that's okay.
You shouldn't normally write your name because it's illegal.
Nope. Shit. Well.
Police will find you, probably.
Damn. Well, hopefully I don't go to jail in Colombia, but I mean, yeah, actually, let's really hope not. So are there any customs? So I noticed like people are practicing here, but what happens if someone practices up here too?
Well, you shouldn't do it. That doesn't normally happen in Comuna 13.
Really?
Like people don't ruin like someone else's work, artwork. But in the real world, like out there in the city, when artists don't get along, like when there's beef, they always try to cover like someone else's artwork. When you do that in the graffiti world, it means that you don't respect that person.
So if you want to diss someone, you tag over their graffiti. This slide right behind me is pretty important to the community. So what had happened was, unfortunately, years ago, a child was killed right in this area. And they built this slide in order to keep his memory alive. And really what it represents is keeping that memory alive of him, but also more broadly, of what it's like to be a child. Really just, it's a place where people come, they slide down, have a good time, and it's really just to keep that kind of essence alive. All right, so now we're in a part that's much more residential. We're outside of the tourist area. And I just want you guys to take a sec. Look at how narrow this is. I kid you not, like, here's my hand right here. I'm touching one wall. My other hand, I'm touching the other wall. I mean, this is probably like 2 feet, 3 feet maximum, but it's interesting to see how close together these homes are. This is one of the most dense comunas in all of Medellin. And there's around 142,000 people who live here. Imagine trying to move here, trying to take all of your belongings down these super steep steps. That would definitely be difficult. And check out, I mean, you can really see, you get a much better look here of how all the homes are built, the cement, the brick, and just really how they're all built on top of each other. One of the interesting things I was told is that 97% of people have access to water here. And the tap water here in Medellin is drinkable. You can drink it, it's safe, you won't get sick, you will be just fine. And another interesting thing I was told is that there's free Wi-Fi here in Medellin, including Comuna 13, which is something really cool that the city went ahead and gave people access to the internet. Obviously, that is very important to be connected to the rest of the world. You guys like my new shirt? It says Comuna 13. I gotta move this so you guys can see it. But where we're at right now is actually a really famous coffee shop. This place is owned by one of the most famous graffiti artists and muralists here. And give you guys a little tour. So one of the coolest things about this place is that they have a celebrity wall, and they have a bunch of artists here, all sorts of artists from Latin America, famous YouTubers, all sorts of people have been here. But the really interesting thing and what really caught my attention here was off to this side. For those of you like myself who are from the US, I'm sure you recognize our former president Bill Clinton actually came here, and after that this place blew up. It's something that I was not expecting, but sure enough, he came. There he is, immortalized on the wall here, and something really cool. All right, so for our final stop, where we are right now is Sergio's foundation. So what exactly does your foundation do?
We work with kids. We teach the kids like English. We teach like the little kids how to read. We started a program like where they can learn how to graffiti.
What? Okay.
Actually, this was made by a kid. He's 11 years old. He's very talented.
I guess, would you say like the kids here are more influenced now to like get into hip hop and more like, you know, create art as opposed to joining gangs?
Yeah, that's actually our main objective. You know, like we want to give them options. You know, like opportunities. If a kid is interested in doing this, like the families cannot afford to buy the spray paint for them, so they cannot develop that kind of art. In here, they can do it. We have a library. We also have a Nintendo Switch, so like the kids can come here and spend some time playing video games instead of staying in the streets. You know, like doing nothing.
Can you show us some of the areas?
Yeah, actually, get in. Let's get in here. We have an art class too. Like we teach the kids. This was actually made by one of the kids.
Oh wow!
This first time painting. We have a 3D printer over here. We have different projects with this.
Oh wow, I've never actually seen one of these in real life. This
Really?
is so cool. A 3D printer?
Yeah, it's a simple one we got like a year ago. We've been using this to practice different things. You know, sometimes we make toys for the kids, like things they like. You know, like this. We have the Nintendo Switch over here. We had to close because of a lack of resources, but we're working to get those resources to open again.
Nice. By any chance, do you have like a GoFundMe or anything?
We have a GoFundMe right now.
Okay.
That's active.
All right, so I'll leave all of Sergio's information down in the bios. That way you guys can check out his GoFundMe, you guys can donate, all that good stuff. All right, y'all, that concludes our adventure for today. I want to thank you guys, as always, for having come with me on yet another adventure, this time to Comuna 13. And really, I mean, if you're here in Medellin, or for that matter, if you're in Colombia, I would say 100% it's worth coming here. There's so much history, there's so much to do. Medellin is a place that has so many different things. And really, Comuna 13 is an awesome place to spend the day. And the really cool thing is that a lot of these people are entrepreneurs. So supporting, you know, local businesses here is supporting Comuna 13. So I highly recommend you check it out, enjoy the day here, learn and support. And on that note, remember to subscribe, and I will see y'all at the next adventure. La buena, which here in Colombia, everyone says la buena, and that just means, you know, good vibes, sending y'all good energy. So I'm sending you good energy until our next adventure. Peace out, mis parceros.
Digo, nosotros somos una amenaza, nosotros somos verdad, arrasa lo que se quiera. Bienvenido a las escaleras, Westside, California, Medellín, que es lo que esperan.